What's going on, my friends? It has been a week since I've talked to the camera. I can't believe it. Time has flown by. We've been very busy working on the house and making plans, setting things up so that we can own this property and that our first real estate investment is a successful one. Things like communicating with our existing tenant, setting up plans for changing tenants, things like putting some sweat equity and time into the place as it is now, because we're going to own or occupy this place, and we want to make some changes before we move in naturally. So yeah, it's been a busy week. On top of that, work. On top of that, handstand training and everyday life stuff like my relationship with my wife. So things are going well. It's good to be busy. The saying is, you can't be busy and broke. And this is certainly a time in my life where being broke is not an option. And I'm staying busy to counteract that, to build, to grow, to learn consistently. So yeah, there might be some delays in videos, but I think that's all justified, and it actually plays into the life of the channel being about what I'm up to and about learning health, wealth, and happiness. And I have some plans for addressing those three things more specifically in future videos. But I wanted to briefly talk about something that's been on my mind this week. Because I'm in this stage of constant doing, of growth, really. Committing to a lot, learning a lot, seeing a lot, thinking about a lot. And the thing is that I think it's common to believe that when you want to learn something new, you ask the question, what do I need to do more of to get there? It's a natural question, and it comes from the cultural understanding or approach that you have to do something to get something. You have to put in effort to get a result. And I think we're taught this in school. Put in more effort to achieve better grades, and do that in a widespread way to achieve better grades all around in all your classes and subjects. When you're in a job, you're taught to, or at least encouraged to do more, to satisfy the needs of the higher power, whatever that is, in more ways than just one. Now, take the contrarian approach to this, and the question that you should be asking, and that I've tried to embody and ask myself, is, what am I willing to sacrifice? And I think this is the question that most people should be asking themselves, especially when they want to be accomplishing things on a regular basis that are productive, satisfying, and done well. The problem with doing too many things is that you are a human and you have limits to your energy, focus, health, your ability to recover from things, from the stress of working out, from the stress of a busy day at work. And then things shift. People start families, people get married, people buy houses. People also lose things and go through incredibly stressful times in loss, as well as shift, any change, anything that is uncomfortable. And I think it's unfortunate that we're taught to always add more to the plate, contrary to what I'm presenting here, which is, what are you willing to sacrifice? And this is on the same thought as the whole concept about saying no. something that you may have heard of because it's a popular book in many ways, and there are lots of people who address the subject of how to say no and the power of no, which is true. It's true. It's a very powerful word. But knowing when it's time to sacrifice something in order to achieve the one thing that you are after is a very, I think, elite, intelligent skill to practice and to have. And it's important to exercise it. And the honest to God truth is that it's hard as hell to exercise it because no one wants to say no. No one wants to say no. But the result is that everybody lives their lives trying to be happy while saying no at the same time to the things that are taking from them their freedom, their time, their health, their happiness. You know, it's a backward circle, trying to pursue happiness in the name of action, while the results or the commitments that you make in the name of happiness, by nature, subtract happiness from your well-being, from your total person. And I don't think that's a complicated subject. I don't think it's something that has to be, thought too deeply about. But it is something that needs to be used as a primary filter when making decisions about how you use your time. So I'll finish with an example. I make YouTube videos. I enjoy making YouTube videos a lot. I think it's a great way to document thought, idea, progress, development, maturity, and just share ideas and then, broadcast, talk to people, connect with people. I also am very interested in building a foundation of wealth, if that makes sense. I have always asked the question, in my memory anyways, I've always wondered why it is so ingrained in people to trade time for money. And in recent years, I've come to learn that this is not how the wealthy people in this world think. And so I have done a lot of work to understand what they think and how they act with their time. That's one thing. Of course, there's a lot of skills that must be developed intentionally to create wealth. Number 3 thing, I love to move. I freaking love to be flexible, to be strong, to exercise my body. And the skill of hand balance has been for a long time the pinnacle of how to express movement with my body. And it's taken a lot of my time, and it requires consistent invested energy, focus, and at least, a minimum of 5 days a week if you really want to take it somewhere. On top of that, I'm a dedicated husband. I want to be a great father. I care about the relationships with my family. And I also love work. I love to do what I do. I work in construction. And I love the outdoors. I love to exercise my mind in an environment that requires me to learn a skill or make decisions about the future of a site development or operate heavy machinery, learn how these things take place in the real world so that people can live happy lives. And if you're getting the sense, you're following along, right? That was like 5 things that I enjoy doing, and that kind of occupies my life. Now, there are other things too, other projects that I have going on, other little side gigs, little ideas that haven't come to fruition, but unfortunately, not so much. Unfortunately, that is the way it has to be if I intend to make anything of the things that mean the most to me. So, I want you to think of yourself as the center of a circle. And you are a shape of some sort. And every time you say yes to something, a little piece of you is strung out and connected to that thing, whatever it may be. Now, you do not grow any bigger. You have a finite capacity to recover, to manage your stress and life, and it's not a bad thing to be finite. It is the nature of being human, and it's about maximizing what you have versus always being pessimistic or negative about what you don't have. You know, we're all fighting the same battle, so in a way it doesn't matter. It makes us all more or less equal. Now, as you continue to string out and say yes, those pieces of you that are connected to those projects, those ideas, those things, they take effort and energy to be maintained. Now, maintaining those things is one thing, but if you hope to accomplish anything in that idea, in that connection, then you've got to invest consistent effort and energy in order to expand that connection. You don't want a paper-thin line, you want a frickin' highway, because it is that is going to get you progress, results, the outcome that you're after. And that usually takes a lot of time. And the inverse effect of creating that highway is that other connections fall away and disappear, or they're stressed. They're tugged on and pulled until they break. And that's okay. That's the nature of how it is. So don't be afraid to say no. Making sacrifices is a very good thing. It tells you that you're coming to a point in the road, a fork in the road, where you've got to make a decision. And instead of trying to stretch yourself and go both ways, you've got to choose. Only choosing is not meant, it's not as bad as it's made out to be. Saying no is actually it's an elite skill. It's not the fear of missing out that should drive you to do things. It is the joy of being able to focus on less that should drive you to do things. So, with that, we'll end the video there. I will see you in the next one, and continue your good work. Stay healthy, stay wealthy, and hopefully very happy. Reach out to me if you have any questions. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. As always, hit that like and comment and subscribe for future videos. And we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Peace.